we're seen as the social media and online safety people. But I think what a lot of parents and principals don't really understand is that we also help kids to move into exploration and excellence online. But in order to do that, we need to get them to understand what the media does to them, what impact it has on them, what this visual world imprints into their consciousness. And that's quite profound because it's actually very simple. When you think about the life that we have on smart devices, and particularly on social media, is we are living through YouTube and Netflix, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and we are scrolling all the time. We are looking and consuming media and content through our eyes. It's being processed in our brains, and then it's being stored in our own operating system, in our own iOS. And of course, if there is something that is either really exciting or really, really disturbing, then that of course can get more deeply entrenched in that iOS. It can change the perspective of the way in which we see the world. If you keep scrolling through content that has some influence about the way in which people look, that could be body shape, or it could be how wealthy they are, or what clothes they have, or what privilege there is, and you repeatedly look at that content, it shapes your view of both yourself and that type of stereotyped image or group. And yet we all know that that's not necessarily true. But it all started by a visual representation which we consumed, processed and stored. And of course, if the memory isn't a strong one, then it kind of just gets shelved or archived and slowly fades away. But for kids, they're a little bit more vulnerable than that. You know, they're at a very interesting stage of their neurobiological development. And we need to understand that this increasing life online, and they're reporting that they are using YouTube and Netflix and social media channels as their news services, as their inspiration, that if that content and if that stimulus doesn't have the right influence in it, then it's going to change the lens through which they look at life and other people. Now, what can we do about that? Well, we need to talk to them about it. Are they going to get offline anymore? Well, that's going to be up to both the principal, the teachers, or the parents, depending on the level of exposure. But the most important thing that we can do is to help them to understand what we're doing when we're consuming all of this visual content, to be able to stop, to turn a device over, to take a break, to ask some questions, to be media literate, to find out whether, is this fake news? I wonder. Let me ask some friends. Let me ask a parent. Let me ask an adult. Is this true? And if it's not making you feel good, to stop. Just something as simple as that. Just stop. Ask a question. Say, I'm actually not sure if this is making me feel so good. These are things that happen invisibly. They happen automatically to both adults and children. It's simply because we don't understand that we are consuming visual stimulus, processing it, and in some cases, storing it. And if we do that repeatedly, then that starts to change the way we view things. That is incredibly important and worth playing for.